Welcome to another First Person Arts Live. As always, I am your host, Che Guerrero, social media manager here at First Person Arts. Really glad you could join me this Wednesday and every Wednesday. We have been doing these tips every week, and this week it's no different. For this week, we're going to give you 3 tips for telling your story as a community leader, which is something we need more of. We need more dependable community leaders. This is great if you work for a nonprofit organization like over here at First Person Arts, where here's the logo, or if you want to start your own nonprofit, or if you just want to help those in your communities, but you want to be better at engaging with people and how to talk to those in your community. We're going to give you tips on how to share your story as a community leader. But before all that, as always, we got a lot of things going on here at First Person Arts that we want you guys to know about and check out. It's Wednesday, which means another episode of Hashtag Us, Unique and Shared Experience, Ukrainian Stories from Philly drops today. This is the 4th episode. You can check it out. All these stories have been amazing stories from people who are affected by what's going on in Ukraine, their families, their immigration stories, their worries. It is a powerful podcast that I think you would really enjoy. I haven't just been enjoying, making it and posting it and checking them out. Really, I've been enjoying listening to these stories because, it's a very important topic right now, especially to hear the stories from people who are impacted by what's going on in the world. If you want to listen to that podcast, you can go to firstpersonarts.org/podcast. Also, wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen to Hashtag Us. And that's what we have in the digital realm premiering this week. But already is coming up, end of the month. We're heading into November, and November, my gosh, so we have so many things going on with you. First of all, on November 9th at 11 a.m., we have Find Your Story with interviews hosted by Darylise Lyons, a fantastic storyteller. You may see her. She's done stuff with us at the Atwater Kent exhibit, done stuff with us with Mural Arts. Really, just an amazing storyteller, an amazing individual. And she's going to be teaching how to do stories with interviews, how to tell stories with interviews, excuse me. This will be at the Free Library, the one on Vine Street, 1901 Vine Street. I learned that one on my own. I didn't even to look at that. That's going to be on November 9th at 11 a.m. Tickets are $25 till this Friday. Till this Friday. After that, ticket prices will go up. So please get your tickets while they're still cheap. There's plenty of spaces open. Get your tickets now. Link to that in the bio, or you can go to firstpersonarts.org to check out that. What else do we have going on? After the 9th, it's a few days later. That's how time works. And then it's First Person Art Story Slam online dating. We have an amazing show I'm hosting. That's on the 12th at 7:30 p.m. at World Cafe Live. We have a special storyteller, Anna Akbari, the author of There Is No Ethan. You're going to enjoy this. She's going to tell a story, but also, and we'll get to a little bit later, you can come and tell your story. You know how this works. Send us the pitch of your online dating story. Give us love how you found that online. Give us how you found, nonsense online. Let us know what's been happening. This is the digital world. We're all out there trying to find love in the digital space. We want to know how it's been going for you. Pitch us your story at stories@firstpersonarts.org. As always, we have 4 pre-selected storytellers. But if you're not selected, you can come and put your name in the bucket. And we pick 3 people from there to come tell the stories. And even if you can't do that, come to the lobby. Check out our new story pop in the lobby. It's been a lot of fun. I'm not going to say it's been story popping, but it has been story popping. People love doing the story pops. People love seeing the story pops from the lobby. So come tell your stories. There's so many ways for you to share your story. We are not going to get in your way. Okay. Now, you can tell your stories you can pitch your stories by sending it to stories@firstpersonarts.org. You know that. That's for our online dating. Pitches your story. And then on the very next night, I was just talking about Anna Akbari. Anna Akbari is going to be doing a conversation with Sheila Wacko talking about her book, There Is No Ethan, also at the Free Library, 1901 Vine Street, on the 13th at 7 p.m. The event is free, but for $50, you can get a copy of the book, and Anna Akbari will sign it. I will not sign it. You don't want my signature, but Anna will sign it for you. That is everything. It's not everything. That's everything I have for today as far as events coming up. You can check out all of our events in November, December. You can check out the Story Gym with Daryl Lees. You can check out online dating. You can check out the event with Anna Akbar. We have another special event towards the end of November, which has not been put out on the website yet, but I will be telling you about that next week on the live. Oh man, is that a hook for next week for you to come back? Yes, it is. Come back next week for live because we got way more things to premiere for you. But you can check out all the stuff at firstpersonarts.org/events. Oh, that was the housekeeping rules. That was the housekeeping rules. So now we're gonna move from the housekeeping rules to what y'all came, the tips. People come here for the tips. So let's give it to them. 3 tips for telling your story as a community leader. I put this together this morning, so you're gonna see me read it to you, but I don't want you to miss anything that's being said. Okay. Here are your 3 tips. Leaders, future leaders, thinking about being a leader. Let's start with number 3. Listen first, speak second. Did you hear that? Did you hear? Let me say it again. Listen first, speak second. Before crafting your message, make sure you've really listened to your community's concern. Build trust by showing you understand their stories. As excuse me. Ask open-ended questions and reflect back what you've heard to create a shared narrative. That is so important. You have to listen to what people are saying. Too many times, even as humans, we go in, already have our stories in place. Somebody says something, and then we tell a story, and it has nothing to do with what they just said. Don't do that. Open-ended questions. Find out about them. Listen and then speak. That is very important in life, but also as a community leader, because people want to be heard and they want to know that you are genuinely able to take in what they're telling you. Their stories matter to them, and their story should also matter to you. I think that's a good one. Number 2, show your flaws, not just your accomplishments. I think this one's super important. I really want to make sure I put that in there because too many times are we like, oh, I want to stunt on people. Look how great we're doing. Look at the numbers. Look at this. Look at that. But also, showing ways that it's been tough, ways that it hasn't always been easy for you really helps people know what the journey ahead looks like in a realistic manner. So, show your flaws, not just your accomplishments. People connect with vulnerability. Share moments where you've struggled or made mistakes and show how those experiences shaped your perspective. It makes you relatable and human, not just a polished figure. Absolutely. Look, I tell you right now, one of my flaws is I didn't, memorize all this stuff. You know what I mean? But if you had just seen me do a video where everything was perfect and I was talking into, a teleprompter, you'd be like, man, this guy's amazing. I can never be like that. But if I told you, no, listen, along the way, I made a lot of mistakes, but I have become a better leader. I've done this, I've done that through the mistakes that I've made. People get inspired by that. So show your flaws, not just your accomplishments. I hope that one is one that you really enjoyed. And the number 1 tip, the tip that I'm going to give you today as a community leader is to come check out our events. Before we get to the last one, I'm going to do this to you. Come check out our events. Remember, November 9th, we have our Story Gym with Daryl Lee's Lions at the Free Library. $25 for early bird tickets for that one before this Friday. And then on the 12th, we have online dating. I'm hosting. Anna Akbari is doing a special story. And you can send your stories on online dating to stories@firstpersonarts.org. And then the very next night, we have a conversation with Anna Akbari and Sheila Wako. There is no Ethan. That is on the 13th at the Free Library. Tickets are free. You can go and register, link in bio. But if you want a copy of the book signed by Anna, $50 for that. All of our events at firstpersonarts.org/events. And finally, what is the last tip for our community leaders for today? Turn data into drama. Facts and figures are necessary, but they don't move hearts. Paint a picture with those stats by anchoring them in a personal story. Make the numbers tangible by showing how they impact real people in your constituency. English is not my first language, so I crushed it for 90%. See, these are my flaws, not my accomplishment. For your followers, all right, for your peoples, okay. Turn the data into drama. This is actually a very good. It's actually something I even read in a book. That's where I got it from. Basically, if you give somebody, how something's happening, give them the facts, the figures, give them the figures, give them the figure, the number, people won't remember numbers. They won't remember 1,000, 2,000, 32%, 80%, whatever. They won't remember all that. But if you take that data and you show how this is affecting people, for example, I did a panel where I saw that 2% of actors, showrunners, all these kind of higher up people in Hollywood, only 2% is made up by Latino Hispanics like myself. So, I told them, basically, I explained to them, like, to me, I don't just see 2% of people who are in the business. I see 98% of people who have not had their dream realized. I talked about the bigger number of people whose just dreams have been crushed by lack of representation. So I turned those numbers into a story that helped people understand, why it's important to have more representation, or why it's important to do this for your community or do that. Because once they can see that this isn't just data, it's people, it's stories, they connect with that right away. I really hope you enjoyed those 3 tips for telling your story as a community leader. I've enjoyed giving these tips every week. I hope you're enjoying watching them and taking them in. But please, if there's anything that you want to see us talk about, let us know in the comments. I'd love to create, these tip videos around people's needs and interests. So always leave anything you have in the comments. If you don't already, follow us through all of our social media channels at First Person Arts. We will be constantly updating. We'll be constantly updating you on all the shows we have coming up, all the events, how you can participate, how you can volunteer, how you can, even work here. We're always reaching out to a community as community leaders do. Yeah, that's everything. Remember, you could always find all of our events at firstpersonarts.org/events. And if you have a story, send us the stories at firstpersonarts.org for online dating or anything else you have. I really appreciate you. Thank you for watching every Wednesday that we're here. A lot more exciting things coming up, and we cannot wait to share that with you. Have a good rest of your day. See you next week. Adios.